When planning out your levels, it can be easy to just chuck all the necessary art you need into the scene and move on with the more important parts of game development. And often, we can be too easily swayed by the idea that all it really takes to make a great looking level is great looking art. But I can tell you, what sets apart a quality looking game from an amateur one isn't the art, but the composition. So here are my 5 steps that will instantly make your compositions shine and elevate your game design above all others. Number 1. A common practice you learn when first getting into composing art is the golden ratio. You could just chuck all your game objects into a room and call it a day. But a lot of the time, as in this example, the scene is a mess. Visually, I have no idea where the focal point is, and so I don't know what is important and what is just decoration. One way to tackle this is to split your screen into areas with objects in them and areas of rest. The golden ratio is used in art to create the most visually appealing compositions possible. One way to utilize this ratio is to place the Fibonacci spiral over your screen and organize objects along the spiral, ending at a focal point in the center. By decluttering the scene and organizing things along key positions, you're putting emphasis on the particular objects that you want your player to pay attention to. And you're also creating nice areas of rest, which make a scene pleasing to a viewer's eyes. Try to keep the ratio of areas with objects in them and areas without objects to about 3:2, or 60% of your screen being one and 40% being the other. This alone will drastically improve your visuals for your game. Number 2, try to keep the top edges of things at different heights. This is a simple one to implement, but makes a world of difference. As you can see in this example, if too many things are at the same height, it immediately makes the art look fake, flat, and jarring. Number 3, do not intersect the edges of objects in your scene. This is when the edges of 2 objects are just touching each other. Once again, this really flattens the work and it makes it look unprofessional and hard to read. Instead, try to either leave an area of space between objects or fully overlap them, never edge to edge. For a nicer looking composition, try mixing between overlapped and spaced out items, and always try to make each area of space a different size for variety. Number 4. A large part of making great levels is knowing how to control where your players are looking at any given moment. By positioning the edges of objects so that they block the edges of your screen, you can create a natural frame that keeps your players' eyes within the chosen area, binding their attention subconsciously. And also, with the edges of your components, try to make them point towards focal interests. This will cause players to naturally follow a path in your scene, which in turn avoids the mental strain of having their eyes darting around haphazardly, trying to figure out where they should be looking. Number 5. Try to balance things asymmetrically, and keep in mind weight. So imagine you have a large rock on one side of the frame, and a smaller one on the right. As it is, this is a nice composition, utilizing different heights, space, and essentially the golden ratio. But it's a little left heavy. Imagine your landscape is on a set of scales and we want to balance those scales. This process of balancing your scales feeds into the first point of the golden ratio, but goes a step further in creating those scenes that will cause your level designs to really shine. So to balance this left heavy background, we could just place a rock of equal size on the other side. There, balanced. But this does look bad, as it's the same shape, height and distance as the other rock. We're not looking just to balance the scene, but to create variety and asymmetry in the process. In this scenario, I would probably place a few rocks in a group to the right, all different shapes and sizes for variety, and have them almost equal the visual weight of the rock on the left, as if I had duplicated a large rock and broken it down into parts. I'd also make sure to place an odd amount of rocks rather than an even amount, so that it doesn't look strange or calculated. And finally, as an extra exercise, let's say you wanted to add a magical item of interest. Where would you place it in this background? You might put it in the middle. This works, but again, we can create a much more appealing looking scene. So how about we treat these rocks as if they are framing this area and place the point of interest off center, in keeping with the Fibonacci spiral. Now I still have to treat this object as if it held visual weight as well, and so let's remove some weight from the rocks on the right and replace them with the point of interest, rebalancing the scene. Some of these ideas can be hard to get a hang of. All I can say is you have to be intentional about observing and arranging your levels. Take a step back and get a feel for your background. Does it seem a little heavy or loud in an area? Is this an intentional design? Or will it feel jarring to play in this area of the game? Keep trying out these tips. Study other games and pieces of art and note the compositions you like. You'll soon start to subconsciously pick out the patterns that make a visually appealing piece. It just comes with practice. And of course, these are just general guidelines. The more confident you become, the more you'll start to intuitively do this and learn what rules to bend and break. Just have fun and keep at it, and you'll be making some amazing looking levels in no time.